everybody. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned in to the NFL on EA Sports. The 49ers would love nothing more than to finish out today's game with a second notch in that win column. It's the Seahawks going up against the 49ers.
Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to Silicon Valley and Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The scene a short time ago, this crowd, they loved their 49ers, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. And we're ready for football as the 49ers get set to do battle with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. The final playoff push is upon us. It's week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And it felt like in watching the game tape, he got everyone involved last week.
He was a manager.
He really was. That's a great way to put it because they ran the ball some. They threw it accurately. One touchdown pass, so he didn't, break the bank doing that, but he didn't throw any interceptions. That's the bottom line. That's why a defense loves a quarterback like that. Doesn't put them in bad situations.
Shakes off the sand. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And that's caught inside the 30. And he'll be knocked down sideways. A huge play there right off the bat. 48 yards. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. On first down, Wilson. His throw caught at about the 5. And they do stop him, but he takes it all the way to the 2. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
I don't care how many times you tell the story, it never loses its luster for me. Doug Baldwin, undrafted out of Stanford, and plays like a #1 receiver should in the NFL. I don't care how you cover him. I don't care that his size isn't great. He's the one that typically comes up with the football.
Absolutely. His roots go all the way back to Gulf Breeze, Florida, where he's from, right on the water near Pensacola, and then, of course, to Stanford, and, boy, he's been good. So they're operating in the red zone. They'll run it with Lacey. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Second and goal. Defense digging in. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Eddie Lacy with another touchdown, number 24 on the year. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it's finished off by a touchdown run coming from Eddie Lacy. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. Set to return. Here's Raheem Mostert. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. This is Brian Hoyer leading him out there, a 9th-year quarterback from Michigan State.
You talk about the pause that refreshes. I think it's come at a perfect time of the year for them, hasn't it? You know, the season is starting to wind down, got a little bit of a break. But how about the guy calling the signals? He's got to be excited about that because now he didn't just get a game plan for 1 week. He was able to work on it for 2 weeks. I can't wait to see if they have anything special in store for him today.
First carry for Carlos Hyde. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender. And
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Now Hoyer. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, we quit counting yardage on that one, didn't we? That was truly third and a mile, wasn't it?
It was. I thought they might just go underneath, but they didn't. They wanted to get the first down there.
Yeah, they tried to pick up the huge chunk unsuccessfully. I'm with you. I would have tried to take some yardage just to gain some field position.
This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. Lacey coming back onto the field now. Last week, over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. We were talking with him on the field before the game. He said simply, I was in a groove. He obviously was.
And I think he's been a little modest about that, being in a groove. That's a big-time game right there. And I think he feels like his entire team is coming along with him because they're creating spaces and holes for him to run through. He's making people miss, running 3 tackles. They are locked in a big way and confident about this game as well.
Over the middle, complete. It's Richardson. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful? You're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards. Well, this is the reigning NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Runs like that might get him another award.
Yeah, Thunderbolt right out of the gate, huh? How about that, hitting the defense hard early? And, of course, carrying the momentum from last week into this week's game.
And now a first down following that long gain. From the shotgun, Wilson. And he whips that one incomplete there. The intended target, Doug Baldwin. And now it's second down. And a look now at the defensive starters for San Francisco.
However you measure DeForest Buckner, 6'7", 6'8", it really doesn't matter. He looks like a basketball power forward. And the one thing that he always focuses on and concentrates on is leverage. How does he drop his pad level so he can get down there and compete with the blockers of the NFL?
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wilson. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Paul Richardson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. Walsh now for the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0. A drive that time of 6 plays. And it all culminates with a Seattle score. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. A first look at the NFL scoreboard comes from down in Arizona, and the early lead there belonging to the Cardinals. Drew Stanton, a first-quarter touchdown pass in that one. And San Francisco gets set to go here. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Let's go!
They run it again with Hyde. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. And here's the headshots for the offense, and Carlos Hyde, a talented back.
Has taken over as the lead runner. A terrific talent. Can batter you inside, but has more speed than what you expect to take it the distance.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A play fake to Hyde. Now it's Hoyer. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Cliff Averill in there to get him, and that's sack number 18 for him on the year. This is a nice little stretch he's putting together. Remember, 3 sacks last week.
And now he's off to the races in this game because he thinks, okay, that's the start of something big because he's in a zone. He's locked in. So offensively, you've got to occupy him. Maybe even run the ball at him as opposed to passing it so he can't just pin his ears back and rush the quarterback.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Second quarter now. Brandon Gaud and Charles Davis with you. It's the 49ers in control of the football, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. Here's Bradley Pinion now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Now it's Lockett. Shifts past him at the 45. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Tyler Lockett, touchdown number 15 of the year. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
Brandon, I loved his game in college, and I thought he would translate well as a pro. Boy, did he exceed my expectations. Another punt return for a touchdown.
Busted onto the scene as an all-pro returner as a rookie. He's not looking back. Extra point try now for Walsh. And it is now 21-0. Well, we know he has home run hitting ability in the punt return department, and he showcases it there all the way back for 6. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Well, if you haven't got enough football this Thanksgiving weekend, there's still more to come. Tonight,
yes,
you're pumped up. It's two of the most storied franchises in NFL history doing battle, the Packers and Steelers from Heinz Field. Then tomorrow night, more. Wrap up your Cyber Monday with the Texans at the Ravens from Baltimore.
Man, is it time to start shopping already?
Just go online, man. I said Cyber Monday. Click, click, click. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Has it complete, and he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the out.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Here's Bradley Pinion now as he's on to punt for San Francisco. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Returnable for Lockett. 12 yards on the return that time, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
Hoping now to get back in the end zone on this 4th possession. They start the drive on the ground with Lacey. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. They run it again with Lacey. And Hill running right through him. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Only a yard on the pickup, and now they've got a 3rd down and 8.
Back-to-back runs, I'd say that encompassed maximum effort for minimal gain.
Minimal yardage, and now they're going to need something more than minimal on this play coming up. Wilson. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
They're going for a receiver there. Already has 1 touchdown in this first half. A second one not to be.
I like where their headspace is, though. I mean, I really like the thought process, right? You got a guy who's already scored 1, right? You want to go back?
And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. So the quarterback drops to throw, looks over, and boom, a guy that wide open, he has to be thinking, wait a minute, this is some kind of a dream. This is too easy.
Yeah, a great dream. One you don't want to wake up from. But for the defense, almost feels like there was a bust in coverage.
Walsh now for the PAT. It's good, and they stretch their lead to 28-0 now. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. Let's take a look at Brian Hoyer now as he heads back out there. And I guess the question, Charles, is what's the formula for keeping him better protected? Because as we see, the protection, it struggled.
And normally what you get is renewed determination. When the big guy gets hit, that usually sparks people. Hey, we can't let this happen anymore. They take it personally. He's not supposed to be on the ground, but that hasn't been the case so far in this game. So maybe you've got to figure out how do they get rid of the ball faster to help out the offensive line so he doesn't get hit as much.
And we'll see if they can keep him off the ground now going forward. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24.
When you're putting together a formula for winning defense, it's exactly what we're seeing in this game. Controlling the line of scrimmage, attacking, and changing everything so that now they're playing in the offense's backfield. They're playing an excellent game.
Hey, we got tight left, tight left. Hurry up, here we go. Green, 39.
Here's Hoyer. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
But one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown them a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after them. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. And that is incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's Bradley Pinion now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. .46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. It's taken to the 26. A good return there, 17 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here's Russell Wilson and the Seahawk offense now getting set to go again. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team. Gives them a lead, and they're feeling really good about how they're playing. I think he expects to throw at least another one.
I was going to say, now he wants the first-half hat trick, doesn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Go ahead and fling him up.
Eddie Lacy, see you later. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Eddie Lacy, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And this Seahawks offense continues to pour it on. Extra point try now for Walsh. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. Well, I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. And let's look at Carlos Hyde now. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit. Maybe featuring other people touching it for a while. And then you've got a chance to come back to him when things have changed.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him and they bring him down. David Bass in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
I think you're right, partner.
Here we go. Green, 39.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. The tight end Kittle has it on the left side. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The reception good for 7. It's third down. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. They'll set up a throw. And this is going to be caught along the sideline. Nicely done, but right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and that's going to make it fourth down.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Throwing now, Wilson on first down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Wilson. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A good pickup there, 26 yards. A nice job there, Charles. They picked up the blitz, were able to complete the pass.
That had the total feel of a quarterback in control. Red blitz, got him into the right protection scheme, so he doesn't get hit back there. He's got a chance to step up with supreme confidence and deliver it downfield for a nice completion.
Now Wilson on first down. And that'll be incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Wilson. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's third down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they did completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. They give him 27 yards on the third down conversion. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. And welcome back. The offensive unit, they took the timeout, and now they get set to line up as we resume action. From the red zone now, here's Wilson on first down. And this one's incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete. And not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone.
way he's been slinging it in the first half, you expect everything he throws to go for a touchdown, but I guess he's going to have to wait to try and pick up that third, isn't he?
Yeah, I thought he had him for a second, but you're right, not to be. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. Call that a loss of 7 to bring up 4th. So on 4th down, Pete Carroll's going to call out his field goal unit. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And that will just add 3 more to a lead that's already out of hand. So the scoring drive encompasses 9 plays, but the net gain, 3 points.
And you're going to have drives like that in this league. Sometimes you just got to take the 3 and move on. Always better than nothing.
Now after the made field goal, Walsh back out to kick it away. And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number 1. So we've come upon halftime with the visiting Seahawks. They're out in front as we send you cross country to our EA Sports Studios in Orlando with our halftime report. Here's Larry Ridley.
All right, Brandon, back to you and Charles in a bit. But first, let's get you caught up on all the highlights from the first half. The 49ers have really struggled out of the gate here. The Seahawks have done a good job taking control of this game, and the scoreboard shows as much. So let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Now 1st and 10, it's going to be Wilson to Baldwin on the deep ball. And he'll eventually be brought down, but not before getting to the 27-yard line. Later on the drive, Lacey's going to stay inside after the handoff, and this 4-play drive goes for a touchdown as they take a 7-0 lead. Head to late in the first. Wilson's on point with the throw, and he's going to go 16 yards for the score. Lead now at 14. The 49ers would punt it away. Lockett's going to get a shot here, and he'll take this all the way for a touchdown as they go up here at 21-0. Seahawks with the ball midway through the second. Graham's wide open, able to make the grab. And this goes 41 yards for the score. 1st and 10, the blowout goes on. Lacey's going to break into the secondary, and he'll go for the score.
All right, Larry, indeed a one-sided affair to this point as we get set for half 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and he'll take over at the 25. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know. I
would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that.
And the ball's out. Hyde fumbled it, and the Seahawks have picked it up. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try and increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
See if they stay on the ground for second down.
Watch right, watch right.
Now a 10th carry here for Lacey. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
When you take a look at Eddie Lacy, you expect the run we just saw, don't you? A battering ram type of an effort.
Absolutely. Such a tough runner at Alabama where he won those national championships, and a tough runner here in the NFL.
Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
They'll try to pound it in with Lacey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Now they'll throw it with Wilson. And he's got the big tight end Graham. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham, his 2nd touchdown of the game and his 9th on the year. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Walsh now for the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Here's Walsh now to kick this one off. That'll be taken in the end zone. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. And San Francisco gets set to go here. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
And that's another stop for the defense. Something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
Back to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Another drive comes and goes. Still nothing on the scoreboard.
Yeah, and when the second half comes, you know, it's real easy to get discouraged and wonder if you're ever going to get things started. But you just got to fight through it. Got to keep pounding away.
He gets this away as he'll wisely, I'd say, angle this to the sideline. And this punt goes out of bounds, and it'll be marked inside the 40. And the Seahawks get ready to trot out on the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats?
Who?
You and me, trying to get to the airport.
That's
the roads
true.
will be fairly clear
that is
by the time we have to leave the booth.
4 down.
They begin the drive with Lacey. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Again, it's Lacey. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11. Off the fake to Lacey, here's Wilson. And the Niners get there and bring him down. The rookie from Alabama, Reuben Foster. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. On is the punter, Ryan, to send this one away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. The 49ers getting set to trot out there. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Well, they're slinging it. And then there's one you got to put a timer on, huh? I mean, that one came in hot.
It came in hot, but overthrown, out of his reach and incomplete. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Mike Bennett in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
High, and he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Just a 2-yard pickup, and that should necessitate a call for the punt team here on 4th down.
As much as I praise teams for being true to who they are, in this situation, I wonder if maybe they outguessed themselves a little bit. 3rd down seemed like an obvious passing situation. They chose to run it and didn't get anywhere close to the 1st down.
Returnable here from the 38. Look at the spin.
Balance.
An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. Now a 1st down carry. It's Lacey. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense, because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Wilson on the draw. He'll give to Lacey. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here in Santa Clara, and this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On 2nd down, Lacey. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
And, Brandon, this is where it pays to have a big back who can take over a football game, especially in the 4th quarter when you've got the lead. Your ability to not just wear people down, but close games out.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Lacey. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here, because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. Lacey gets the handoff from Wilson, and that's a big collision. He's knocked backward as they will mark him down at the 6-yard line.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. The Seahawks on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 5. The play clock's running down. Now Wilson. And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground, and now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
And Walsh able to convert it as his kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the 4th.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
Now after the made field goal, Walsh back out to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The San Francisco offense getting their last-minute instructions before they take over here. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. The Niners on third down. As bad as you can be. 0 for 7 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll run it. Here's Hyde. And he's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there. I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Officially, no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down.
All right, here we go. Blue landing.
Now back to throw. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score.
Tight ends left. Hurry up, here we go. 3-19.
He'll drop to throw. He finds Coates complete. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs. They'll drop to throw. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. The wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. Another wayward pass. Things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the the Seahawk defense. Cliff Averill in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's caught by Selleck. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A very solid gain of 27. He'll look to throw. And he's got his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. A gain of 4 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Now Hoyer. And unable to connect on the long pass. It falls down incomplete. Marquise Wilson, the one he was trying to get it to. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Good positioning, and it's picked off. And not much on the return there. He'll take it only up to the 9-yard line. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
And left side here, it's Graham. Give him 30 yards there. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Wilson wants to throw it. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. So the offense takes the timeout, and they are back out and ready to rock. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since. Throwing again here, Wilson. He's going to air this out for Baldwin. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Doug Baldwin, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Seahawks are running away with this one. And for them, this train, it just keeps rolling, doesn't it? Well on their way to yet another victory.
Yeah, it's almost a runaway, isn't it? And you just wonder how anyone could stop this. They got full momentum going, full confidence going. But it's not just their own confidence that is leading them. It's the lack of confidence against their opponents now, because they see them coming and think, we've got no shot to beat this team.
Now, this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive, 4 plays. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. Down the numbers. There he goes. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
So, Charles, are able to complete what so often seems to be elusive, a shutout in the NFL. And maybe what's fitting is they ended the game on the field, that defensive unit on the field. What an exclamation mark.
And probably felt like they could go another 60 minutes without anyone putting points on the board against them. That's the confidence you gain throughout when you're pitching a shutout. And they're going to leave the stadium feeling like they're all 10 feet tall.
So for the Seahawks, the perfect season remains intact as they move to 11-0 on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for San Francisco, their woes continue as the record falls now to 1-10. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Santa Clara.